Pound for Pound Show, episode number 32. My name is Philip, and joining me as always are Ben and Russ. How are you gentlemen doing?
Good, Philip. Good, Philip.
Good. Good to hear. Good to hear. Well, we've got quite a few fights to recap and then some more title fights to talk about. So it's been a pretty happening time in fights. So we'll touch on those fights real quick from last weekend. Maybe a little bit shocking, but awesome story to see in the main event. Glover getting it done, becoming the light heavyweight champion at 42 years old. So how'd you guys enjoy that fight? Ben, what'd you think?
You love to see it. Glover's been grinding for like over a decade, 15 years, maybe, just been grinding. He's had some ups and downs, and he's just such a nice guy that you'd love to see this. You hate to see it happen to Jan, because Jan's also just a great dude, two great dudes of the sport. But I wanted Glover to win because Glover's never had the gold. Jan had the gold. I wanted to see Glover get the gold. I'm very happy to see that. What do you think, Russ?
It was definitely a feel-good story. I mean, it was great to see Glover get the title. It was definitely his last shot. He was not working his way back into a title shot. So this was it. And he might have even retired off a loss. Who knows? Because he's 42 years old, but he got it done and he made it look pretty easy. Like I don't want to take anything away from Glover, but Blachowicz just didn't look like himself. Like he didn't look good at all. Like he didn't have the Polish power working that night. It might've just been an off night, or it might've just been a terrible matchup. Because Glover, made it look kind of easy taking the title off.
Do you think he underestimated Glover?
I don't know. Sometimes, it's just not your day. Every athlete has just a bad day. It might have just been a bad day for him.
He said he left the Polish power in the hotel. That's what he said. Yeah. But he was all class in defeat. He said,
absolutely.
He always is. He always is. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
But even if you picked Glover to win, you couldn't have suspected it like going like that one-sided and easy for him. Like he kind of just waited in and got in close. Yeah. Very surprising.
Yeah, it was certainly a crazy move for sure. And that was the question I was going to ask you guys, but you kind of answered is like, were you guys surprised at like how easy Glover made it? Because like I said, none of us picked him to win, and he was like a 3-1 underdog. So it was definitely a big surprise to me that he was able to control the fight like that. So
definitely.
It looks like most likely next for him is going to be Glover and Prohaska for the title, most likely. So you guys excited to see that one?
No, I'm not excited. I'm not, because I don't want to see a death in the octagon, and that's going to be most likely a death. I mean, Yuri's going to maybe kill him. So I'm nothing against Glover. Nothing against Glover. He's 42 now, and he's going to be well into 42 by the time he fights Yuri, and he's slower, and Yuri's in his prime. He's just a savage animal. So I don't want to see it. But we're going to see it. So
we're most likely so, but Glover, who knows? We'll have to see how that goes. So
I just want to see what sort of finishing move he's going to pull off in that fight.
It'll be straight out of Street Fighter.
Or Mortal Kombat. Like,
I'm legit scared.
Yeah. It'll be like a Guile flash kick. He'll do like a backflip and kick Glover on the way around or something like that.
Something insane. Yeah.
Who knows?
Glover's head will pop off,
Yeah.
I think if I was Glover, I'd consider just,
retire
going out on top, being like
retire with the belt.
This is what I wanted my whole career. I got it. We're good. I'm out.
That's the smartest move. Do not fight Yuri. Yeah. Do not fight him.
Yeah. To play devil's advocate, we haven't seen Yuri on the ground though, and Glover has a way of controlling people, so he might be able to work his way in and just drag Yuri to the ground. And once he gets guys on the ground, man, he's been really effective. So
true, very true.
Yeah, he's big trouble on the ground, and he's got that old man strength. So like he gets a hold of you, it's trouble.
He's got some power.
So you never know,
man.
Yeah, and as much as I enjoy Yuri, he's super entertaining to watch. He does get a little bit reckless. So if Glover can just not catch one, he might catch Yuri doing some spinning flying elbow and just be able to grab him and take him to the ground. So it'll be interesting to see. But I think that Yuri will probably be the favorite going in, even though Glover's the champion. So
I would say so.
Rightfully so. Yeah. Rightfully so. But yeah, and then the other title fight, we'll get into that one. Peter Yan, Corey Sandhagen, fun fight to watch. And Peter Yan walked away with the interim title. So Russ, I'll go to you first, then over to Ben. How'd you guys like that one?
I thought it was the best fight of the night. I thought that, Corey had a pretty good game plan, but he just too tough. Yan is too tough. Like we've seen him do it to multiple people, just wear on him. He did it to Aldo. He did it to Aljamain, he was doing it to until the knee. His cardio never ends. He just keeps walking people down and striking them. He's very good. Thought it was a great fight. He's the champ in my eyes, and he's gonna destroy Aljo, I think, when they fight again.
Yep. I agree with Russ. Jan looked incredible. Both guys looked really good. I don't think Sandhagen's stock drops either, really. He looked good. Jan, here's the thing. Jan is so like economical with his striking and his movement, and he just he's a slow starter. We all know that now. So he's gonna lose round one. I thought Sandhagen was gonna win the fight, and I was like, well, Sandhagen is looking great. And then Jan does what he did what he does, and he just comes alive and later in the fight. And like Russ said, he wears you down, and he looked great. He's the real champ. So yeah, Jan's gonna get the real belt probably. I think. What do you think, Phil? Did Phil freeze?
I think so.
I was thinking like he was looking at me like that for a while, like Phil froze, man.
Yeah, Ichabod's not having it.
I thought he was just staying real still. That's so funny. Well, I guess we'll oh, here we go. Maybe he'll reconnect here. Let me invite him again. I legit thought he was just being really still.
I really don't like Aljo, like less and less as this wears on.
Oh yeah.
Like now he's talking a bunch of crap about TJ, how he can get in the back of the line. It's like, no, sir.
He was like super vulgar to TJ.
Yeah. Should not be how it works. TJ was the champion and was destroying everybody.
I think he's losing fans by the day, to be honest with you.
I mean, I don't know how you could have any left. Like, what's he got? Like one? No.
Yeah. He's got like the New York area behind him.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I was watching that the Manning cast yesterday on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? How
I heard it's really funny.
It's so good. It's makes the game 100 times better. But they showed this fan. There was a Giants fan in the crowd at Kansas City, and he had an Eli jersey on. And Peyton goes, "Oh, there's your fan."
There's your fan. That's a good one.
Yeah, Peyton says so much funny crap. He's awesome.
There we go. He's back for the attack. Oh, what the hell happened, Phil? What the hell happened, man?
You were like right at the end of talking, and then both of your pictures froze, and I could hear you, and then it just kicked me out completely.
Wow,
that's crazy, man.
Yeah. And then two other fights we probably got to touch on. Speaking of title fights, guys, I think we'll probably see in title fights very soon. Got to talk about what Islam did to Dan Hooker, and we got to talk about Hamzat as well. Those guys, the hype appears to be real. The beard appears to be real. How'd you guys, how impressed were you guys with those two? Ben, you first.
Crazy impressed, man. I think pretty highly of Dan Hooker, and Islam made him look like an amateur. He finished him in what was that? Like a minute? Like got that
pretty quick. Yeah.
What's that submission called? Kimura?
Yeah.
Yes.
You got the Kimura on him. Made it look easy. Islam is a savage. That guy is scary. And what else can you say about Hamzat? He's the same. Just a savage, scary dude. Both dudes probably got gold in their future. That's all I got to say on that. What do you think, Russ?
Yeah, it's hard to overhype them at this point. They're so freaking good. Like it just tear through everybody. And we thought maybe Hamzat might have a little bit of slowdown, being off for like a year because of the COVID stuff he had, the complications. Just came out there and destroyed Lee, Jinglang. Like, and that dude usually gets in wars. He at least makes fights very entertaining, even if he doesn't win them all. He usually, drags people into deep waters, but there was none of that. He just got picked up and slammed and beaten easily. Hamzat is crazy good.
He's got like freak strength. Like
they're doing something different in Dagestan. We just have to accept that, and we have to figure out what's going on over there because
I think I got an idea, but
well, everybody else better figure it out because they're dominating the UFC right now. It's feeling like when like the UFC took that card to Brazil and like every Brazilian fighter won. It felt kind of like that this card did with the Dagestani guys, like just annihilating, and then with little Hezbollah at ringside.
Yes, Hezbollah's the man. Dude's punching everybody, dude.
Heck yeah, he was.
Dude is the man. I love
Dude's
that
18
guy.
years old.
I thought he was older. I thought he was like 30.
No, he's 18. I had
Yeah.
to look it up. I need
He
to
looks
do some
about
research
4.
on this character.
Yeah, that's insane. Love that
Because
guy.
we're way more into that character than I was. So
Oh,
Phil,
man.
if you don't
All
like
about it.
Hasbulla, Phil, we're gonna have a problems, man.
I didn't say I didn't like him. I don't know that I have an opinion on him at all. Like, I mean, I certainly didn't start yelling, "He's the man," like a lunatic.
You should have been, man.
Maybe I missed out. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'll be very excited to see how those guys do at the championship level. I think both of them. Islam called for a title fight, and I think that's probably justified with the way he beat Dan Hooker. Hamzat's probably another fight or 2 away because with the time off and everything. So very curious to see what's next for those guys. But
I just a thought here. Islam will not get a title fight next. He'll have to win one more fight, I think. I think there's that top 5 is pretty deep in the lightweight division. I think he gets the winner of Chandler Gaethje, maybe. And then Hamzat, I think they're talking about Nate or Neil Magny. So those are some good matchups.
As a Diaz fan, I'm gonna say.
I would say I know we're not to best bets yet.
Yeah, baby.
But I'll take futures bets. I'll give anybody any odds they want. Nate Diaz will not fight Hamzat. There is no effing chance we ever see that fight.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it.
Never. That's just not going to happen. So
yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah, well, you don't have to worry. There's literally no chance that's going to happen. So don't lose any sleep over that. So
that would be a nightmare.
So, but speaking of fights, I know Ben is super excited about this one, and a lot of people should be. The rematch is finally here. Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington 2, the biggest heel in the business these days. The last fight way over delivered. Was a fantastic fight, super close fight. How do you guys see this one breaking down? I'll throw it over to you, Russ, and then over to Ben.
For me, this one's tough to call. Because we all thought the last one was going to be terribly boring, but they were just going to try to out wrestle each other. And there wasn't going to be a ton of action, and there was just nonstop action. And it was one of the better fights of the year, one of the best title fights. So I really don't know if they're going to go that route again, but, I think that's Colby's best chance at a victory is, having it be like a war like that again. I don't think he's going to beat him in like a technical fight, So I'm really hoping it's a highly entertaining fight, and I'm picking Colby to win it.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I like it.
I know
man.
this is his first fight in over a year, but I'm going to go with the underdog in this one.
Nice. The first fight, like you said, was so amazing. One of my favorite fights maybe ever. I love it so much. It was just a war. And I think it probably goes the same route. There's just so much bad blood there that they just have to punch each other in the face for as long as they can. And Usman's improved so much in the past year or two that I think he's more technically skilled. And I think he's also juiced to the gills. There's that. And then, so I'm going to take Usman. I think he finishes him again. It's hard to pick against the guy. We haven't seen a weakness from him yet. So he hasn't lost since 2013. I'm going to go with Usman, but I'm personally rooting for Colby. I like Colby. I think he's a warrior. But yeah, it should be an awesome fight. I'm just hoping for a great fight. What do you think, Phil?
It's hard to call a dude a warrior when he runs out of the cage crying when he loses. I'd like to point that out.
Yeah, but how about the fight he put on? He put on an awesome fight.
Right, but you always talk about how honorable dudes and how classy they are in defeat. You comment on how classy he was in defeat.
No, he wasn't classy. He wasn't classy, but yeah.
Yeah. So, I think it's going to be a tricky fight. Like, I think Colby has got to test the wrestling side of things because they're both great wrestlers, and that's what they both do to guys. And, Usman's just improved so much on his feet. I think if they stay standing, like he got the better of him last time, and Kamaru's stand-up has improved so much. I think if it goes the way that it does, I don't know that Colby makes it out of the second or third round. I think Kamaru finishes him pretty violently, but I think Colby might try to grind on him, and he's like, well, I'm probably not going to beat him in a stand-up war, so let's see whose wrestling is the best. And I think we might see that. If I was his coaches, that's what I would be telling him, because I'm not going out and getting another slugfest with Kamaru, especially after what he did to Masvidal and everything. So I just don't see that. But yeah, again, so impressed with how Usman is. I think Colby does everything well. I think Usman just does everything a little bit better. So I think he's going to get the win, and I think he's going to get I'm going to go with a 3rd round stoppage.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So that's how I see that one going.
All right.
And then the other title fight, a big, another rematch. We got Rose putting her title on the line against Weili Zhang in the rematch from the first fight. Obviously, the first fight ended super early with a impressive head kick knockout. How do you guys see this one going, Ben? You go first on this one.
I don't know. It all depends on what game plan and what changes Weili has made since their last fight. Because what is there to make you believe that Weili can beat Rose? Rose finished her, a minute into the fight or something like, yes, super early in the fight. I don't know. I don't see how it goes any differently. I don't really think Rose has any weaknesses. She's only getting better. And I think Rose wins it again. I think Weili will have the skills and the game plan to last longer and go deeper into the fight. But I think Rose takes the fight, I'll say, by decision. What do you think, Russ?
I think this one is going to be more of a war. Like I see like a 5-round grind where I'm taking Rose by decision. I think she's just technically better than any female in there. And I think, she'll do like she did in the other rematches she had against Joanna and against Andrade. She just, outstruck him for 5 rounds and won, like she just is so technically good. I don't think it's going to go the same way because it's hard to replicate that head kick. Like Zhang's for sure going to be looking for it, this time. And it's just hard to replicate such a crazy knockout. But I think Rose wins regardless. She's just better in my opinion.
I'm going the other way. I think the other fight, again, not to take anything away from Rose, but it's really hard to have a lot of takeaways from a fight that ends in a minute. Like anybody can get clipped with a violent shot. We didn't get to really see much of anything. I think the longer the fight goes, the worse it is for Rose. I think she's excellent. Don't get me wrong. But I think she's got to get a fairly early finish because Weili just brings so much violence. And I just think of the other fights that like just wore on Rose as the fights went on. I think the longer it goes, if Weili puts the pressure on her, she'll eventually wear her down and get her out of there later in the fight. So I'm going with Weili 4th round TKO.
Wow. Look at Phil, this communist. I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm playing.
It's a harsh accusation.
USA. I'll play.
All right. Well, yeah. So I guess now that we've talked about tons of title fights and potential title fights, Russ, why don't you tell the people how to make some money this weekend?
No, sorry. We got to talk about the Gaethje Chandler fight. Okay, that has to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, that's on there too.
Yeah, we clearly discussed before the show what we were going to talk about.
Oh, did we? I didn't miss that. I thought we had that on there. My bad.
No, this was not mentioned. I'm good with it. I don't care. Okay. It's an awesome. How could you not want to talk about it? It's going to roll. So let's talk about it. You have got Gaethje and Chandler, 2 dudes who go for the kill every time, 2 dudes who are literally entertaining every time they fight. Like this is what fight fans pay to see. This is what, this is like a fight fans main event. Like they're going to love this fight, one way or the other. So Russ, how do you see it going?
Violence, just pure violence. Like I see it not going to the cards. Like I'd be shocked if it goes to the judges' cards. They're just both 2 violent humans. I don't really know who's going to get knocked out. It's tough to say. Yeah, somebody's getting knocked out, but Chandler's a 2-1 dog, which I was pretty surprised.
Mm-hmm. That is surprising.
I thought it'd be like a pick 'em because they're both so good and so devastating with their knockouts. So like if I'm betting it, I'm taking Chandler, but I love Gaethje's one of my favorite fighters, so I'm rooting for him to win.
Yep. It's going to be an absolute dogfight. Yeah. Like you said, Phil, hardcore fans dream fight. Like the casuals might not know these fighters that well, but the hardcore fans know that these guys bring it literally every time and have been doing so for like a decade. So it's going to be an absolute barn burner, most likely fight of the night and maybe fight of the year candidate. I'm taking Gaethje. I think he's fought higher level competition, but Chandler's got that dog in him and he could definitely knock him out. This fight does not make it out of the first round. Mark my words. It does not. So what do you think, Phil?
Yeah, I mean, you guys kind of said it. I think, like both guys kind of, they have great wrestling to protect themselves, but they don't really use it. And the way that the talk has gone into this fight, yeah, it just seems like two dudes that are going to go out there and try to assassinate the other guy. So it's basically a coin toss. Like, yeah, I agree with Russ at 2-1 odds. I'm definitely taking Chandler. I think either guy could get the finish because both guys can finish at a moment's notice. And I think, yeah, just the two dudes are just going to unload, and whoever gets clipped first is probably done. So, but I'm going to take Chandler. I just think that he's been real impressive. And I mean, maybe just because I'm a big fan and I don't think he gets the love. He's like, again, love Gaethje. Don't get me wrong. Both dudes are awesome. Big fan of both guys. I see Chandler getting it done. Gaethje's just, I don't know. I just gut feeling maybe.
It's been a year since we've seen Gaethje.
That is
the
true.
last time we seen him, he was getting just molested by Habib. So
yeah,
well, it's almost
bad
unfair
memories
to hold that against anybody.
Oh, I know for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's been a long time since then.
Yeah. Habib had the beard, so Gaethje had no chance. So
both dudes are coming off title fight losses. This is a big fight for him to get back in that title picture.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is basically to fight Islam, in my opinion. This is that fight. So you might want to lose. Yeah, you might want to lose.
It depends. If one of them if it ends like we think it's gonna end, like a super highlight KO, they could get the title shot against Poirier and Oliveira just because their names
you're
are
right.
so
You're
huge.
right. Yeah.
I could see it, especially if Poirier wins.
Oh
I
yeah,
can see that.
yeah. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, I wouldn't think they run back Oliveira Chandler.
Right.
I would think if it worked out that way, they wouldn't. But Oliveira Gaethje is a new matchup, and Poirier against either one of them is a new matchup, which I think are pretty marketable. So I guess
Poirier beat Gaethje.
They think. What's up?
Poirier beat Gaethje.
He did, but it was a super fun fight. So
yeah, I know.
and it was multiple fights ago as well.
Yeah,
It wasn't
you're right.
fresh.
Yeah.
So I think that you could market that as another fight. But yeah, actually I did forget about that.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I think it's been long enough I forgot about it. So maybe some other people forgot about it.
Yeah. Right.
So, but the one thing we can all agree on is it should be a sweet fight.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Or it's just going to end so quickly. It doesn't even get to be a sweet fight because it's a brutal early knockout, which could also happen.
Like 20 seconds in, literally. Yeah.
Some dude. Yeah. Well, yeah. Both dudes could just throw haymakers and it doesn't take much. So
no.
Cool. Well, all right. Well, now that we covered that, Russ, now tell the people how to make some money.
All right. First off, for the best bets, we're going to recap last week. I went 1-2. We won on Jan, in his interim title fight, lost on Blachowicz by KO and the over 2.5 rounds. So that main event was just bad news that Glover finished it so quick. Like he could have at least waited,
Sure.
a little bit. Yeah, but that's okay. 1-2. This week it's all dogs. I'm taking Al Iaquinta plus 135. He's fighting Bobby Green. They're both like, they hover around those top 10 rankings and are both good, but I think Al's a little better. So plus 135.
Yeah, I cannot believe Iaquinta is the dog in that.
I'm surprised too.
Really to me.
Yeah, I'm surprised by a lot of the lines this Saturday. It's interesting lines. And then
I'm also surprised Bobby Green is still employed.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of wins. But then I'm taking Rose minus 105 against Zhang. Zhang's a slight favorite. She's minus 115, Rose is minus 105. So it's like almost a pick 'em, but still, it's surprising me the way the first one went.
Mm-hmm.
That Rose isn't like a 2-1 favorite. Yeah.
Right.
And then I'm taking Colby plus 250 against Kamaru. I think plus 250 is a crazy line
odds.
how good of a fight that was.
Yep.
Yeah, those odds are tough to pass
Nice.
up. But
I like
Kamaru
those
is
bets.
just so convincing. He's sold everybody on how good he is at this point. So
Since he's been with Whitman, he's just been destroying people on the feet, which is terrifying. But
yeah.
I'm hoping for something wild to happen. There's been a lot of underdogs winning this year in big fights, so
Crazy.
maybe it can continue.
I'm hoping to
Crazy.
see Colby not even be in condition to run out of the arena this time.
Yeah. Odds
Big
of that
guy
are
on
I just want it to be a great fight.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
It should be a sweet event nonetheless. But that being said, anything else you gentlemen want to cover before we get on out of here?
I think that's it for this week. Just excited that massive main card on this pay-per-view coming up.
Yeah,
I
2
know.
weekends in a row with some big fights. So
Yeah.
What a year for MMA, man. Like just a feel good year, isn't it? Like all the good guys are kind of winning, Glover
Yeah.
top.
Yeah.
Glover is the icing on the cake, man.
Yeah. See, I was going to say that the John Jones really, really warmed the hearts of everybody here. Towards the end of the year.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
The good guys are winning the titles and the bad guys are going to jail.
That's true.
Yeah, Connor and not going to jail, but Jones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not yet. Not
Definitely
yet.
getting in some legal trouble.
Oh,
Those
yeah,
dudes
he's-
are in competition to see like who can steal more headlines doing outrageous things.
I think UFC
Honestly.
like stopped like protecting both of them. They're like, yeah, your things are your own now. So you're not, you know what I mean? Like you're on your own. You don't
At
have
some
our,
point, you just have to give up. You know, it's like you guys
Yeah.
can't stop for a second. Like John Jones, we bring in for one night for a Hall of Fame thing, and he like goes and gets arrested.
Right. As much money as those dudes make, they should pay a freaking babysitter. Like just someone to follow you around and make decisions for you. Be like,
so many professional athletes do it, and you see the ones that don't like get into
Yeah.
trouble, but like so many do it.
Yeah.
who
Good
knows?
gravy.
Who knows?
But yeah, it's amazing the ones that don't, like when you see like them out at like 4 a.m. on like game nights and crap, just wreaking havoc. It's like why doesn't he have a handler around him? Like, you know,
Yeah. And just doing the dumbest things. Like, yeah, why would you be at a club? Why would you get in a fist fight with a DJ if you're a
Yeah.
professional athlete? Like, who gives a shit?
right?
Who cares? Just leave.
Yeah, he's a loose cannon, man. Both of them are. Both of them.
Man.
So yeah.
Pro athletes
But
are
again,
wild.
you know,
Did you-
to be fair, and again, you know, I am no fan, but that's part of his appeal. You
Yeah,
know?
he's very
Did
polarizing.
you see
and very
that Raiders
controversial, yeah.
receiver? Did you see the Raiders
That
receiver?
was involved in that shooting?
No, he hit somebody while he was under the influence yesterday and killed him.
Oh, that's
Wow.
Ruggs. Yeah. So
Mhm.
like he's going to prison. Like he's
Yeah.
done. Isn't that crazy? Like how could you be out driving? Like you're a professional football player. He's like one of their top receivers.
Yeah.
Wow. Terrible.
Call an Uber or have a driver. It sucks. Sad.
So weird.
But that's just an example. You know, these athletes should all have handlers.
Yeah, you would think, especially once you've proven that like you need one. Like some people, you know, seem to handle their business just fine. They get up.
Well,
and,
yeah, of course. You know, the
Right.
owners or coaches or somebody have to be like, all right, this person like
Right.
is a loose cannon. Like, you know,
Mhm. Yeah. Agreed 100%. So, well, cool. With that saying, we'll let the people go. It's enough of our soapbox about professional athletes and their behavior. So everybody enjoy the fights this weekend. We'll be back to recap them soon. Until then, we'll see you guys. Have a good one.
Thank you. See you guys.